I think oftentimes with historical or ethnographic exhibitions, they can be really education heavy. They can be really text-based, really dense. I wanted to create an opportunity where people could have fun. My name is Craig Stevens. I am a doctoral candidate of anthropology and archaeology here at Northwestern. I had been thinking for maybe a year or two about what an exhibition would look like if it integrated AR, VR, and standard curation all in one. So I had a fantastic opportunity working with the Herskovits Library of African Studies to use the materials in their collection to manifest, to crystallize this idea that had been in my head. So the exhibition is titled Augmented Curiosities. And so the idea for the exhibition was to try to see how these technologies could create value for objects by accessibility as opposed to inaccessibility, which is typically how exhibitions are constructed. The exhibition is staged in the middle of the stacks of the Herskovits Library of African Studies. It's on the 5th floor of the main library. And so as you're navigating through the shelves, you're going to come across these two old bookcases. And so in the bookcases, we have 6 objects that represent a diversity of materials that are in the Herskovits collection, as well as geographies and cultures. We have a Yoruba shrine embodiment, a bust that was crafted by Felix Idibor, who is a legendary Nigerian sculptor. We have a fertility doll that was made in South Africa in this collection of women from different ethnicities. We have Makarapa, which is from the 2010 World Cup. It's made from a hard hat, which is associated with the mining culture, the working class culture in South Africa. Then we also have a Liberian election fan, which is something that's really special to me. And lastly, we have my favorite object of the exhibition, which is a wooden pipe that's wrapped in snakeskin and adorned with these brass antelope and cattle. Each of those objects has what we call a didactic label that gives you the name, the time period of its manufacturer. The QR code on the didactic label connects to a web augmented reality platform called Eighth Wall, where visitors are allowed to virtually pull the object out of the cabinet. So we have pedestals that are placed in the exhibition where folks are able to then put the 3D model of the object that they're looking at in reality onto the pedestal and then manipulate it. They can scale it, they can rotate it. So you're doing that as you're looking to your right or to your left at the actual objects behind a pane of glass, but then you are able to engage, manipulate, scale on your own personal device. So in the VR experience, we've created what's often called a digital twin. There is a replica of the exhibition space in virtual reality where now folks are able to walk up to the cabinet, open the door, and then pick up the object off of the shelf. And so with their either controllers or their virtual hands, they're able to, again, scale, stretch, spin, throw, and catch or drop the 3D model of the object that's in the exhibition. What's really exciting about the virtual reality is that we were able to create a script that when you pick up the object off of the shelf in the cabinet, you're confronted with a video, which is a different person from one of Northwestern's African Studies communities telling you about the object. But I was really inspired with the curation of this by the notion of affective curation. So not curating just for its morphological or geographical attributes, but really how an object sits in its cultural, spiritual, or emotional context. We had a series of Northwestern affiliated faculty, students, staff who are responding to the question, how does this object make you feel?
Well, my name is Esmeralda Calais, and I am the Georgia Mary LaCron Foster Curator at the Melville J. Herskovits Library of African Studies at Northwestern University Libraries. This is the first exhibition of its kind within the Herskovits. From my perspective, I was very pleased. I've been hoping and wanting these items to be used in some way. Virtual reality, augmented reality, very new to me. I'd seen things on the internet, but I didn't know that's what it was called, right? So when Craig came into my office and actually said this is what he wanted to do, I wasn't sure what he was talking about. But once he mentioned it, I was like, oh, okay. I'm not sure where that's going to get done, but I'm open. I'm open to the possibility. Let's see what's possible here. So for me, someone using the objects, looking at them more deeply, explaining them in a more meaningful way, this is what I've been hoping for.
So this has been an incredible experience for me. It's actually given me a lot of affirmations and feelings that I had about the power of an exhibition, the power of material culture. First, I was able to see that the physicality of an object is not all that it offers. What really brought this home for me was that I was able to travel the virtual reality component of this exhibition to multiple West African countries during 2023. And I was able to have people experience the VR aspect of Augmented Curiosities. And in that way, they were engaging African material culture that was inaccessible to Africans. And so that showed me that there is a real possibility of restoration, of restitution, of repatriation, and the creation of relationships between Africans and African institutions on both sides of the Atlantic through these technologies.